On the 14th of April 1912, the RMS Titanic sank with the loss of over 1,500 lives. On May 7, 1915, the Lusitania sank with the loss of 1,198 lives. The common link in the tragic sinking of these two ships was a little port in the south of Ireland called Queenstown.
She arrived in Queenstown, as it was called then, on the 11th of April 1912 at 12 midday.
123 passengers embarked at Cove, 3 first class, 7 second class and the remainder third class, which was steerage.
She set sail 1.5 hours later. Having struck ice late on the night of the 14th of April, it sank in the early hours of the 15th.
May the 7th, 1915, 3 years after the Titanic disaster, massive tragedy hit Cove again, the sinking of the Lusitania, which was torpedoed off the old Helican sail by a German U-boat.
There was an SOS sent after they'd been struck by the torpedo. There was a variety of vessels went out, including a whole fleet of fishing boats, sailing boats and rowing boats to try and save as many people as possible. 762 passengers survived the Lusitania. 1,198 people were lost.
They were brought ashore to Cove, stacked outside the old courthouse, the bodies. In the old church cemetery out at Cove Cross, there's 120 victims buried in a mass graveyard out there. To this day, 8 of them have not been identified.
It had a much greater impact on the town than the Titanic did, because the people witnessed firsthand all the trauma, the tragedy and the heartbreak, the dead bodies, people in shock, the bereaved parents, all of that was experienced by the people here in Cove, so it had a much greater impact. There's a beautiful little monument that was unveiled in 1998 by Titanic's youngest survivor, a lady called Milvina Dean. It's commemorated every year by the casting of 79 flowers into the water. We call out the passengers' names, say a few prayers, and this is done annually.
The main monument over in the first square, the 2 men looking out over the harbour, that's dedicated to the victims of the Lusitania.
It's commemorated every year by visiting the old church cemetery where many of the victims are buried. We say a few prayers there and we lay a wreath. The wreath is laid here by the mayor at the memorial every year. Both of those are part of the incredible diversity of the history of Cove. We have a very strong maritime history and social history here, and those 2 vessels form a big part of the maritime history. And I suppose the impact on the town, apart from the effects at the time, would be that there are many visitors come here, seeking answers about these ships and looking to find out more about them and look at the places that are associated with the 2 vessels.